Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I decided to do something different. I've gotten to the point where I guess I need some stimulation with the brain. Pause. And I've been playing the same playbook for a while. I've been winning a lot of games, but sometimes you want to get something new going on. So, you know what, I'm like, you know what, how about I pick every team in the game and utilize their playbooks and just play a game with it. So after a game with the Vikings, I'll move on to the next team in the list using their playbook, and hopefully we can get some decent material with these types of videos. So right away, I'm like, you know what? Obviously, I don't know the playbook. I briefly know Minnesota because I made a ebook on it last year, a video series where I was going over the Minnesota playbook in the members section. But I don't know how much they've changed any of the plays in there. So first play of the game, I'm like, you know what? Let me roll with the 3 tight end package. I think that would be pretty cool. Going through the plays, and right away, this guy stands out for me because we know the concepts, right? I mean, this is pretty much a play designed to attack single high. Just looking at this. Okay, so you know what? We can, I like to add to a particular play. What if we motion this guy out to empty and send him on a go pattern or a comeback pattern, right? Now we can get a true triangle read here to attack single high. So I picked this play hoping that I would get single high, and if I got double high, well, then we can check into a run. So I mean, right off the bat, just off of this formation alone, I'm coming up with ways I would start building a scheme from this particular formation, right? If we got double high, we would want to focus on running the ball with different runs to attack the front. If we got single high, then we would check into different passing plays to attack single high coverage. So anyways, I get into this play, and I think it would be a nice wrinkle to motion them out. And now, think about it. It looks like definitely we're going to run with this heavy package, and then we motion into empty, right? So you could probably get pretty creative with this stuff. So I check in the comeback. So basically my read, this is a progression read for me. 1 to 2 to 3. We're hoping that the flat outflanks whoever is flat control, right? So I start the ball, and right away, right here, seeing this guy chasing, seeing that he's outflanked to the outside, I'm throwing right away. Now, some may be hesitant of doing that because they would be afraid of this guy jumping the route. But you don't have to worry about that in single high at all. All right? Because in single high, he theoretically cannot jump that. He is the outer shell of the coverage. Okay? So that's why, if you think about the dragon concept, we are just reading the second defender in, or the flat control player, right? In the dragon concept, where if he sits, we know we can throw the flat unafraid of the outer shell jumping that route because they are either in man or in deep third zone, right? But if that player were to widen and play in the flat, then we can throw the slant, right? So, it's just understanding how different concepts attack a particular coverage. You can transfer that understanding to other concepts. But anyways, we're going to, I'm going through all that, and I'm only going to get 3 yards on this, because Madden is just kind of so geeked out on this player unrealistically being able to travel and get us for a minimal gain, even though he was clearly outflanked, right? So you may say, well, why the hell would we go over that if it's not that effective in Madden? Well, a lot of times you can make that throw. Maybe not a lot of times, maybe half the time. No matter what, you're getting some yardage. But the whole point is understanding the concept of that, because when they finally do get Madden right, in a lot of cases like that, you would just shred opponents left and right because they just don't understand, alignment issues and things of that nature. So we go to the next play. I'm just skimming through, and when I saw this, you see how I paused there, right? What does this look like here? This looks like the arches concept that we went over, right? But what I would do is I would hot route this guy into like some type of in pattern if I could. That way we can get the true, attacking horizontally, getting somebody to run off that guy, and this guy takes an outside stem and comes inside, right? So when I saw this, I was excited. I'm like, you know what? Just looking at this play, if I got double high, I would work the arches concept. But if we got single high with reduced splits, then obviously I would look to attack outside. So I was hoping I would get double high so I can work the concept, and right away we get single high. So right here in the play, I already know I'm working my big guy over here one-on-one with the outside corner here. Snap the ball, throw at the top of the route, outside shoulder, and we get a first down. So I picked the play again, I think, because I'm like, please go double high. I want to work this concept, But he goes single high again, and I don't want to run the same play. And then obviously we're on the hash here, so it's less space for him to throw. And I'm not necessarily comfortable with. I mean, I can throw that, but I'm like, you know what? Let me check the audibles. Check into play action, and what do you know? We have a concept designed to attack single high. So this is the Yankee passing concept. I have a video on this concept. Definitely go check it out. We have the reduced splits, and we have the deep post and the over route. Now, the issue in Madden is they don't have a check that teams will have when dealing with this concept from single high. What teams will do, see, the problem with this is we got this guy running all the way across the field, and if you're a man-to-man, you're in trouble, right? This post is going to hold the deep safety, and then this guy's going to have to run with him. Well, what teams will do is he will travel, and they will get a call to where the deep middle safety will replace you and overtake this route, right? So let me try to stay on the line here, right? He'll overtake that route, and then I will replace the deep middle safety, right? So we can still have a deep middle safety, so we can properly out leverage this guy, because this guy would be outside leverage here as well, right? But we still have the deep middle defense, but we have somebody out leveraging this route as opposed to us being behind and running with it, right? Madden does not have this check. That is why this Yankee concept is really overpowered against single high in the game. So I picked the play. I'm like, oh, all right, I'm going to get a first down. Oh, he's wide open, right? Look at that. Look at that space that's available. Just going to rip it right in there. And what do you know? We get rocked. So that's the importance of being able to pressure in football. So 2nd and 18, I'm like, you know what? Let me go 4 birds. And what's the pre-snap read here, guys? Definitely looks like cover 2 zone. So you may say, okay, well, yeah, just throw this honey hole shot. Well, we can make this play better. We can space it out better by motioning this guy out and sending him out. I'll never forget a guy had asked in one of the forums a long time ago in a different, I think like Discord somewhere. I was surprised he asked this. He was like, hey, in the new Madden, this was last year, I'm having trouble throwing the honey hole shot against cover 2. You guys got any ideas of what's going on? I wonder if he was doing this, but the issue, and what some of you may have an issue is, if you're having trouble throwing it. I don't know if you are or not. But if you're having trouble throwing this honey hole shot against cover 2, it might be because you're not properly stretching this defender, right? If you think about this defender as a deep half safety, say this guy goes inside, right? Okay, if this is considered the core for him, reading 1 and 2, if 1 goes inside underneath, well, theoretically, why not continue to widen, because the only threat you have is this guy, right? As opposed to if I'm traveling upfield, you really can't continue to widen over the top of me with the threat of this guy going up the field, right? So you're forced to kind of stay more honest in the middle. The point I'm trying to get at is, if you properly space this guy with a threat up the middle of the field, it's easier to throw this honey hole shot, right? So that's what I was thinking. I shifted him out, have him going up. As we can see, he's holding this guy. That shot is there. This guy's sitting underneath. And Bosa. So, then and only then is where I see, oh, my opponent selected Bosa, and he's just going to, throw my left tackle out of the way by usering him and come in for the sack. So that's what happened. What I like about this playbook, I like this 4-3 even 6-1. And I like it because with this particular front, we're probably a lot better against wide zone. Okay, and you will see that here. So I pick 4-3, even 6-1, and we're able to kind of hold the edge a lot better with these players on the LOS. Okay, I believe this is me showing defending wide zone with this. Let's see. Oh no, something bad happens here. Okay, so this is the 3-rec. And watch how, this is again another Madden issue. Watch how we're good here, right? Now we're bad on this corner here. Okay, but he misses this. He should have thrown this, right? Watch how our player just runs away. Like, what is that? Like, you know, stuff like that. When this happened in the game, you're not able to see all that. You just know, why was the middle of the field wide open and I have a 3-rec who should have related to the strong side, you know, and you just move on to the next play until you go to replay like I'm doing now, and you actually see what happens, and it kind of makes you more pissed off, right? So anyways, we're in that even 6-1 front. I believe he runs wide zone here. When guys motion like this, okay, it's a clear tell that they're trying to get more people on the side that they want to run to. Let's see if that's what happens here. It is, right? So there's a passing strength of the formation, and then there's a running strength of the formation. Those are two different things. So I'm not going to go over that here. But most people want to run where the running strength of the formation is. A lot of people like to run to the strong side when it comes to running. Okay, so just keep that in mind. He kind of balances it out because the tight end's here and the fullback's here. But just the clear fact of him motioning there kind of sets off alarm bells that you're probably trying to get outside. But anyways, we got our 6-1 front, and look how we're able to kind of set the edge pretty good and make a tackle there. Maybe I should stop stopping a little too much here. Here we're in the 6-1 front again. Tries to run it. Oh, look how he juked our safety in the hole out of his cleats with McCaffrey. So that's why I threw that in here. This is 3rd and 7. I was struggling in this game in the early portion, quite naturally because it's a playbook that I haven't been using. So anyways, I go 3rd and 7. I like the play action aspect of this. If you can mix in some inside zone with this stuff, right? Because it would look the same. You run it this way. This guy would come to clear this and inside zone split, right? And then we have play action off of it. But I really shouldn't be running this on 3rd and 7. But I wanted to run it to kind of hold backers in the second level. And if these guys were to play up, then I would have a window for this shot here. And if this guy were to sit, then maybe I can throw this outside ball here. So I snap, we get the play action here. And right here, he's kind of sitting a little bit. So I felt I could lift it over and put it in the corner here. And the game bails me out by calling this a reception, 1st and 10. Right? But where I most messed up here, that's why I'm going to replay this really quickly, is my footwork. Okay, so this can be a problem with some of you guys too. If you're not confident in where you're going to go with the ball and reading defenses, you can kind of drift away and then throw when you see someone open, and now the ball is taking longer to get there because you're drifting out of the pocket, right? And that's kind of what I did here. Snap the ball. Right here, I should stop right here, right? You see how I'm continuing to drift? I should be right there, about 2 yards up, letting this ball go right now, right? And the ball, the receiver would have more opportunity to get the ball as opposed to trying, you know, getting the ball right towards the edge there, right? So I just threw it late and I drifted too far away. I should have been here. The ball should have already been gone. The ball probably would have been about here. Could have caught it and been good, right? And now he's going to make a sideline catch. He actually drops it, and the game, for whatever reason, bails me out. Here, what's the pre-snap read, guys? This is cover 3 cloud. I knew right away. And this isn't like because I'm high in football knowledge or nothing like that. It's because the game is kind of stupid when it comes to pre-snap reading some of this stuff. Like, I have no idea. One of you guys mentioned this earlier, and I 100% agree with you. I think this is so stupid to where when you play cover 3 cloud, you see this guy hugged up here, and the safety plays like right over the top, right? The deep third safety over here. Okay, it just doesn't make any sense to align that way. You know, you would much rather have the guy kind of inside more. Okay, because I can only imagine a seam read where, you know, someone makes a mistake here and it's just open sesame there. There's just a lot of problems with this, right? But when I see this, I'm like, all right, I know it's cover 3 cloud. So I know, you know, we're getting the roll here, and I know you're a curl flat player. So, you know, how about we go to dragon concept, flat, slant, right? And we just read you. There's nothing you can do because this guy has to step towards the strong side of the formation with 3. So I know the space should be open here. So if you widen with this guy, I can throw the slant. However, if you sit in the window of the slant, I know I can throw the flat, knowing that this guy is not going to drive on it because he's a deep third roll corner. So when he sits like that, right here, I know I'm throwing this flat. 2nd and 10, we throw the flat, and we get 14 yards on a simple flat throw. Just knowing the concepts of stuff. Right here, I can tell it's cover 0. So I check into a quick slant play. The mic is tagged here, so we're going to get a 3-man slide this way. Right here, and we should get big on big. Why is he a check release? Okay, you guys, I'm stumped right here. I've never seen this before. Why is he a check release? There's no one check releasing. He's going out into the flat. I've never seen this. I'm like thoroughly confused here. Okay, now it's gone. Maybe it's because I was quick on the trigger with that. Okay. So anyways, we're going to get a 3-man slide there. Big on big. That means we're hot off of this player. If this guy comes, we're hot too if he comes, right? Snap the ball. And he's not coming, but we're hot off of this guy, right? But the ball's going to be gone before he gets there because it's a 3-step drop play. Look how we're throwing right in rhythm into the window for our slant. Pick up a nice game. Cover 3 cloud. He checks out into single high. I'm already in 4 verts, so I decide to check into a deep comeback pattern on the weak side. Oh, and this is me being kind of on top of my game. I remember earlier when he was playing a coverage where it only rushed 4, that he would user this player, Bosa, and just destroy my left tackle and get in, right? So whenever you are playing against a coverage like cover 2, cover 3, cover 1 man, one of the disadvantages of those coverages is you really don't get more than 4 guys rushing at the quarterback, right? Okay, so you can double team a problem against those coverages. So when I see this, I know I can double team this guy. Maybe hard to do it with this guy being in the 3, but we get the center to slide this way, which helps us out over there. And what do you know? He selected Bosa and he's trying to just abuse his abilities, and he's doubled. I'm looking downfield the whole time. I didn't see him pick him until I went to the replay system. Throw at the top of the route on the comeback pattern. And we went ahead and scored. I don't think I'm going to show the touchdown because it was a pretty boring play. Here he throws an interception. The guy was open on the seam, but he overthrew it outside where we are sitting waiting while playing cover 3 cloud. So then I decided to go to a different formation and check out the playbook, and I'm seeing a lot of good stuff in here. I like this choice pivot return. It looks like you can be pretty creative with stuff in there. But this is money right here. Flood drive. This is a play I think you can build a scheme around out of this formation. Okay, this would obviously be your concept side, but you also have like the drive concept backside coming into the field of vision. This is a really good play. You can overload the side with the flood, and I already know you would slide weak with your line protection, making yourself to where you're able to throw hot off of the strong side, where you dedicate a player that's hot on this side, so if you come, we're not blocking you, we can throw hot to our back coming out of the backfield. This is a play where, you know, again, you can base, like this would be day 1 install when you pick up the game. You learn how to run this play against a lot of different coverages, and then you build around it, right? So I set him as the mic. So what I'm expecting is we get a 3-man slide against an even front here, and then we go big on big here, and we're going to see a fundamental problem with Madden that I cannot stand, even when it works against me. Okay, so I want you guys to understand, it's not that I hate Madden for some of the things it does because it works against me and I lose. But this is a point where you'll see it work in my favor and I'm still pissed off because it's just not really like true football to me. So these guys should be big on big here. So no matter what, he should be turning to this guy and he should be turning to this guy, right? What they're actually going to run here is an overload 3-3 blitz where this guy's actually coming. He's coming, but this guy is not coming. And the whole, like, there's probably a lot of points of this, but one of the things that it's designed to do is where you get exactly what we have called here, where we turn big on big here, right? That's what they want. But I'm actually in the coverage, in a 3-3 coverage. We waste a player, so essentially we get a player blocking nobody. And now we got 3 turning to this side with 4 rushing. He called the perfect call to the protection that I have set. They should have someone coming scot-free off of this side. And instead of me getting fooled, the game holds my hand. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at him the whole time. Like, I'm literally looking at him. If he comes, I'm throwing hot, right? So when I snap the ball, okay, so real quick, I pause it here for a second. 3-man slide, big on big, out, post, flat. Okay, if he comes on a rush, right, then we just throw hot. And the reason why is because you would be on him, and you would be on him, and who would be on the back? If it's this guy, he's got to travel a long way, and we'd be able to outflank him to the flat. So this whole time, I'm looking at this guy right here, because he's my hot, based upon the mic that I have set. All right, and I'm going to snap the ball. And when he doesn't come, I'm like, great, I'm good. I'm good in protection. Now I'm just looking downfield to throw our flood side, right? I'm looking to see where the flat defender will be. Will the flat drive on the flat, or will he play in the window, and then I'll be able to throw off at him, right? But what should have happened is they should have turned this way. They should have been, and this guy should have been coming scot-free and just rocked my world, right? I should have been fooled here. But what the game does is it holds your hand. The game automatically knows that he's coming. Everyone on the line already knows he's coming. It's unrealistic. They know that he's coming, so it turns into a 4-man slide to pick him up, and then the 5th guy picks up this guy, and the game just knows, yeah, you were on the defensive line. Yeah, it's almost impossible for us to know that you're not coming, but we know you're not coming, so we're not going to even block you, right? So we get a 4-man slide to pick that up. I mean, just the perfect line call is made by the game to hold your hand. That's why it's so hard to blitz in this game, because of that, right? So that really pisses me off. So I went over this last year where I started creating pressure packages in the membership. And if you guys remember, for those of you who are in there, I went over what you have to do to kind of alleviate the game knowing that you're coming, right? That's one of the reasons why a lot of blitzes in the game aren't as effective, because the game holds your hand, right? So anyways, I'm still in this formation, and I'm loving the way it looks. This would be another formation I would start plays out of, okay, especially with that flood concept. I mean, look at this. I mean, with that flood concept, now we kind of flip it to where I'm not going on a deep out. I think they call that a China route with Minnesota. Who knows? Okay, but I mean, that was just a great call. Look at this play. I'm loving this play right here, right? So I'm like, yeah, let me pick it. So I mean, I assume with this, when you snap the ball and you're about to hand it off, you're hoping that this guy is in conflict where he has a run fit, and if he steps in, well, now you go block this guy, and I throw outside and catch it, and based upon how he plays it, if I cut inside or if he comes out, then I continue outside. That would be a disaster if he plays inside, right? So I'm looking over there really, And when he steps up like that, I already know I'm throwing this, right? Because he should go out and pick this guy up. And this guy does a great job of making sure he forces me to go inside. That's just like beautiful stuff right there. I think they would call that keeping your outside arm free, or forcing it to the inside pretty much, right? So I don't know why I paused. Oh, this is another play I love. I remember this play was in one of the playbooks I went over last year, where it, like, against single high. See, a lot of people I don't think would throw this type of stuff, because this is something where you kind of got to understand, you know, the coverage. So like single high, he's the outer shell, he's the outer shell. So if we snap the ball, I can really just look at this player, right? If he's involved in a run fit. If he steps inside at all, then I can just throw the flat, unafraid of this guy driving it. And it's the same as I spoke of earlier on the dragon concept. Well, actually, this is the dragon concept. It's just tied in with the RPO, right? But I know with single high, I just don't care what this guy's doing. We're looking at this player, snap the ball, and when we run it, if he steps inside at all, he's outflanked to the flat, and we can throw this every single time. Now, where would you throw the slant? Well, I would throw that if it was like cover 2 double high, 2-man, right? Because, well, no, not 2-man. I'm sorry, if a cover 2 zone. I'm sorry, yeah, cover 2 zone. Because if this guy were to step inside at all, right? Well, then now we know this window is here. And the reason why that would be there is because this guy would be playing outside leverage as a cover 2 zone corner. So the inside would be given to him anyways. So if you step inside at all on this same play, then I throw the slant every single time. I guarantee you guys can go check this out. I bet you it works, where you run this play against cover 2 zone and you just watch this player, and if he comes in, you throw the slant. But if you run this play against single high like here, you watch this player, and if he stays inside, you throw the flat. You know, it changes on who you're supposed to throw to based upon the coverage. That's a lot of talking for this one play. I snap the ball, I'm looking at him, and because he sits, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to run it. But, you know, it's one of the benefits of RPO. Now he's not filling, so theoretically we could be able to cut back, see what happens. Yeah, this guy overplays here, so I cut in here. So I run it again, and this looks like cover 0, and I'm like, you know, I'm just going to throw this slant. And, you know, I just hope my guy wins inside, and what do you know, he pressed down on that, there's a adjustment you can make to where the defense just plays down the entire time. So then 1st and goal, 20 seconds left, he makes a fatal mistake and throws outside to corner sitting in the flat, and I go and score. So this game's pretty much in hand. And once I score, it's 27. I'm like, you know what, let me go for a 2-point conversion and try to do something that looks pretty, see how it works. I'm going to throw this fade pattern, right? 3-step drop, let it fly, outside shoulder. That's just so pretty. To me, I think that the prettiest ball is the back shoulder fade and fade route, and deep post looks pretty as well. Look at that, dragging the feet right in the corner of the end zone. So I'm in the 6-1 front. Again, should be theoretically pretty decent against wide zone. Emotions, wide receiver there. So, I mean, I think you would want to do is kind of get more of a shift this way, because look at the running strength of the formations. Clearly, I mean, I wonder if he ran. No, he actually ran weak for the first time, right? But look how we're able to set this edge over here. I mean, that's just beautiful, right? He still has a pretty decent lane, but we're able to clog. So against wide zone, a front like this theoretically should be pretty decent. You're just setting the edge and forcing it inside. Wide zone really wants to get to the outside. This is a play, Hot Blitz 3. One of you guys corrected me on this. I think it was last year. I went over a lot of different coverages and stuff, and I was saying, this play is something no one would ever call in real life, I was thinking, because it just doesn't make sense to me, and I was 100% wrong. One of you guys corrected me on that and said, I can't remember the name of the coach that, although it's rare, teams aren't going to throw this every week or nothing like that, but there was a coach who came up with this, And I read up on it, and it was incredible stuff. It's good strategy. So basically, to me, it didn't make a lot of sense to run six at the quarterback, and you're not man to man on the backside because there would be too many holes in the defense. But let me see if I could diagram. Well, I'll do it here. You can't practice what this is supposed to do in Madden the way it works in real life. What they do is they're all looking at the quarterback, right? As you see with the zones. And because we know we're going to bring more than what the offense can block if you block 5, that means you're not going to have enough time. If the quarterback snaps the ball and looks right, well then now let's say there's a receiver here and a receiver here, and they're running verticals. I can't remember the writing, but instead of him playing like this, he can be a lot more inside. And it makes perfect sense, and this guy would drift over more as well, because he's just not going to have enough time to look right. Okay, I don't like it. Turn all the way backside. Okay, I like it, and throw that deep bomb over there, right? Because again, someone's coming scot-free at the quarterback. He's got to get rid of the ball quick. And then the guys on this side would sit like almost flat, ready for a quick ball, right? Now, the whole thing would flip if he looked over here first, right? We would be a lot more flat foot, and these guys would glide more inside. Now, I know I'm wrong with the theoretical portion, because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of minute details that I missed there, but that's just kind of like the overall gist of this. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to run it. We're going to run Hot Blitz 3, and what I'm going to do is whoever I select, I'm not going to play bail at all. I'm just going to sit, right, expecting a route underneath and to the inside. A lot of guys, when they're getting rushed and someone's coming scot-free, they're never throwing like an out pattern or a corner pattern. They're just getting rid of it in the seam or underneath inside. So I'm like, you know what, this play might be pretty decent. I'm just going to sit, right? And look, we get a free player as I spoke of, and I'm just sitting here waiting for an inside seam throw. In this situation, if the quarterback was looking here, he would be squeezing on this so hard, right? And this guy would probably drive on that. He just gets rocked. He just doesn't have enough time to process information. 4th and 5, I run it again. This is a benefit of a formation. This guy's way out there, so I moved him inside. And this is just a prime example. There's 3 receivers out here. And instead of me widening out here, I'm just going to play hard inside. Right? I didn't widen all the way over here. I probably should have played a little bit. Well, no, I think this is pretty good position. And he just throws it right to a defender waiting for it. So I dance. And, that's strategy, so, you can quit. And he does just that. So I'll leave it at that. That is the Minnesota Vikings. Obviously, I didn't go over a lot of the different formations because you can't do that in every game. But I'm going to move on to the next team and their playbooks and hopefully get into some cool stuff in that video. All right, guys.